70 to 90% of users are clicking on those first 3 listings, those unpaid listings, whereas about 10 to 30% of users are clicking on those paid links.
Why do you think people, I just popped in my head, like, why do you think people know to bypass the paid listings versus just going into organic?
Well, they've definitely made it harder to tell the difference between ads and organic these days. In fact, about 2 years ago, they added the 4th result for Google Ads. They're prioritizing their paid search, but users don't necessarily trust paid ads. They want to know what the actual best business is, and that's what I think keeps them coming. It's definitely split. Based off of our own data from our own clients, we see that 50% of those users, that 70 to 90%, 50 split on the Google search local pack, and then 50 split on the organic side. I'm going to show visuals. But yeah, I think it's a trust thing.
Yeah,
it's a trust thing. Some users can't tell the difference between paid ads and organic too. But it's definitely, it's interesting.
Yeah, well, and also now too, we're not only dealing with paid ads, we're dealing with AI answers, or people also ask, and then we're dealing with organic. So, like, how is Google? Like, Google is almost shooting itself in foot in as far as financials, right? Because the AI answers give them automatic answers for someone. They would lose that market share now because people are obviously getting the answers right away on things. I feel like that's possibly why they're adding more ads, but isn't that? I don't know.
So I think it depends, and I love this. I think it depends on the type of query, because when somebody's in research mode, let's talk about that chiropractor example just to bring it back. So if somebody's typing in, I'm thinking of like more research-driven queries that ads wouldn't necessarily pop up, like how to get rid of something. Those typically don't trigger ads, and that's where Gemini comes in. So they're not necessarily cannibalizing their own products there. I think they have to be really careful about what they show Gemini for and what they don't, because for your example of the pergola, the best pergola builders in San Diego, I could see ads coming up. Do you remember if there were ads?
I think there were.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see a mixture of ads and Gemini in there too. I have a feeling that they're having to be very careful with that cannibalization. And I don't want to go too, I don't want to go over folks' heads, but basically advertising versus what are we showing for free in Gemini without relying on, clicks in our organic. It's a very, very slippery slope, but because of tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, they have to play the game. They have to ultimately play the game. Speaking of which, I know we wanted to touch on AI today. As far as AI goes, we've been hearing, we've heard the term SEO is dead. SEO's, not. SEO changes every freaking year. What you and I have been in SEO, I've been in it since about 2011. You've been even longer than I have, which is awesome. And it's never gone away. It just changes and it morphs. And Mari Smith, actually, from Social Media Marketing World years ago, said, the cheese has moved. The cheese is always moving. So I do want to ask, why do people keep saying that SEO is dead? I think relating to AI. And is it really dead?
I think asking me 6 months ago, I was probably even thinking that a little bit until I realized that AI still needs information to be fed, right? So I think maybe people are saying that because they just don't understand AI and what makes it, work. And also because searching, Google has lost, a little bit of, didn't profit. So what people are searching differently.
Yeah.
The newer generation, my daughter's not on Google. I don't think she ever touches Google. She's on TikTok. It's still, and Reddit, that's another where people are searching, although Google partnered with Reddit to feed its AI and all that. So
it's actually battle AI because people wanted real answers. Apparently the query plus Reddit or Reddit answers, like people want to see real answers. People are clinging to authenticity because some people have literally just relied on AI content to build their whole website, and people can see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think at this point, no, it's not going any away. We're still, as SEOs, we still have to help our clients understand how AI is now in the picture. But as a website, you still have to structure your content so that AI can read it. Also, there's still people asking questions. You have to make sure that your website solves and helps people. It shows up for people. And also people are still looking to get their toilet fixed. And so there's still going to be at least
the need for finding businesses hasn't
right.
gone away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just changed in the way that maybe the path that they take to find the business has changed. So for instance, yes, they may be using Google slightly less, but Google has 90% of the search market share. Bing has very little search market share. And ChatGPT, as of the end of 2024, had about 1% of the search market share, according to the articles I've seen, which is actually significant in the fact that it's only been around for like 1 or 2 years. So it's definitely making headway. And as a result, we've had to work on new tactics to optimize, to show in ChatGPT, to show in Gemini. But that doesn't mean that SEO is going away. It's just that the cheese is moving. And then to your point, TikTok, what a lot of people don't realize is that TikTok really is a search engine, especially for like hobbyist type of content. So like gardening, I know, is big. How-to videos, so like plumbing, that's YouTube, that's TikTok. And YouTube is another gold mine for SEO as well. We're moving a lot to video because I think people want that authentic connection and they want to be shown how to do something. So if anything, SEO is actually, I would say SEO is actually grown. We now do SEO on YouTube. We've done some on TikTok. We do some for Google. And now clients are asking us a ton about ChatGPT and whatnot. So I think that's actually a really huge breakthrough for the SEO industry. And I think we need to be talking about that a lot more in the industry because we always have this inclination to say Google equals SEO. No. It's multiple platforms in multiple different ways. I do want to understand, I think I want to get back to the question of, as far as SEO and needing an SEO agency, there's been some talk in the industry that, I can do it myself. I can now have robots do my SEO for me. What do you think about replacement versus a tool?
Well, I mean, I think that they shouldn't give up having an agency to help them at least create a strategy. If they want to do their own writing, I'm not necessarily against that. ChatGPT does great as far as creating outlines and giving you ideas, but there is a difference. I just, even on Reddit, I saw is like there's a difference between writing for the search engines versus writing for actual people who are coming to your site. And people know the difference between what might sound robotic on a website or boring versus what might be, human sounding and interesting to them. So I don't know. I guess it comes back to, what was your question again?
My question is, do you think that SEO or AI tools are replacing the need for an agency, or do you think it's more of a tool for agencies to use so that they can do better work?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a great tool. I use it every day, and it makes my job easier in lots of ways because, and in the strategy, it helps me create strategy for sites quicker, for sure.
So a lot faster. It helps us become more.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if I find myself completely like stumped, say I find a subject that I absolutely know nothing about, or, we have a new client, I can even just say, hey, I have this client that does this. I, know nothing about it. Can you at least come out, give me some ideas on, keywords that people would search on to find this client's products or services. So it helps me with that. It helps me come up with some great topic ideas faster than I potentially would even think of myself.
Yeah.
It definitely helps me strategize a lot quicker. I use it as a tool.
It actually makes the billable hours go a lot farther, essentially, I feel like. But it needs your peer review. It needs your review to say, hey, this is hokey. This is not the direction we want to go, and let's fine tune a little bit more. And it helps really become a heavy lifting tool versus a sort of replacement. Because I think that's been another like part of the argument of SEO being dead. We can just do it ourselves, or we can just have robots do it.
If you're a hairdresser though, and you are cutting hair, yeah, I guess go for it. But I think it's a lot faster when you're working with people that have tons of experience like you and I. It just would make it so much better and faster for them to just go, okay, I'm going to invest this, and obviously SEO doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes we've seen it happen overnight. Though.
Sometimes, that is really exciting when that happens. But it's not overnight. It's not. That's actually, I'd say, probably one of the biggest trade-offs. We should probably actually talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have today. Thank you so much for watching our podcast and going through SEO and kind of demystifying what it is, how to handle it, things you should consider. And I'm super excited that we were able to have Barbie on today.
Feel free to reach out and ask me questions, and don't forget to subscribe.